This is Channel 8 WMTW. Maine's total weather and news continues.
Dozens of firefighters battling a fire near the tracks for the Downeaster in Wells last night, and they'll be returning to the scene again today. What they know about what started it right now.
Showers are going to be in the forecast for today, along with the warmth. We'll let you know exactly what to expect for your Friday commute.
The GOP state convention starts in Bangor today. I'm Morgan Sturdivant live in the studio. I'll tell you about the record delegate turnout, selection turnout, and the candidate controversy surrounding it. Welcome back to Maine's Total Weather News this morning. I'm Christina Frank.
Good morning. I'm Megan Torgeson. It is Friday, April 22nd. Let's get a first check of Maine's total weather with meteorologist Mallory Brook. Good morning, Mallory, and happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day to us all. And of course, we have a little bit of a roller coaster ride of weather. We have a beautiful sunrise this morning into Scarborough, which is where meteorologist Ted McInerney is this morning. Absolutely spectacular colors coming in out of there. Now, we do have the clouds moving in, so it's a little bit topsy-turvy depending on where you are as to what you're seeing currently. We do have the clouds and some shower activity moving in, especially to western Maine currently, but the rest of us just looking at partly to mostly cloudy skies. Current temperatures are staying on the mild side, 57 into Sanford, about 58 for Kittery, 46 right now in Toulouse and Auburn, 48 for Augusta, and upper 30s for Midcoast. The majority of the morning shower activity not going to amount to much. What we will notice is by the afternoon some more showers developing. They could be a bit heavier, maybe a rumble of thunder here or there, but not going to be a big deal for us. From about 4 to 8, we will see the majority of this rainfall activity come through. Midcoast, you may hang on along to it till about 10 o'clock tonight, and everyone begins clearing during the overnight. We will be mostly cloudy and then really start to see things clear out during the day on Saturday. 8 to 8 forecast showing this temperature is boosting to the mid 60s today with the chance of rain. More details on that forecast coming up for you in 10 minutes.
Mallory, thank you. Downeaster trains back on schedule this morning after multiple wildfires in Wells caused major delays on Thursday night. Firefighters will return to the scene in just over an hour. Dozens of firefighters worked late into the night to contain the fire. Bragdon Road is open this morning after being closed for several hours. Officials say dry conditions fueled the flames.
In New Hampshire, an active brush fire destroying more than 100 acres in Stoddard, and investigators think it may be arson. Governor Maggie Hassan expected to visit the scene today. More than 100 firefighters are working to beat back flames that are up to 14 feet high. Right now, more than a dozen homes have been evacuated. The Red Cross struggling to help everyone since this is the 6th brush fire in Stoddard in just the past week.
Our volunteers are nervous, you know, it's a dry spring, so everybody kind of sees the writing on the wall and knows that we're going to have to hunker down and be ready all the time.
The displaced residents spent the night at a Red Cross center in Keene. Firefighters are expected to be on the scene into the weekend. As we get into wildfire season, make sure you have the WMTW app, turn on push alerts, and find out immediately if roads are closed like they were on Thursday night. The app is free for Apple and Android phones.
This morning, 2 more Mainers will head to Texas to help with flooding recovery as conditions improve. More than a foot of rain has flooded entire neighborhoods, leading to 8 deaths. Barbara Jurgen from Auburn will travel to Houston to join 2 other Maine volunteers who are already there. Hundreds of Texans are being assisted at 7 Red Cross shelters right now.
Here at home, Mainers will honor the Lake Region Middle School teacher killed in a car crash in Casco by contributing to a cause that he cared so much about. They're going to host an Earth Day cleanup in memory of Adam Perrin today in Bridgeton. Perrin grew up in the Lakes region and volunteered with the Lakes Environmental Association there for about 12 years. Perrin was a science teacher and instilled his passion for the environment into his students.
He was always positive, and he always helped everybody with what they needed, and he had fun experiments we could do in class, and he just made school he just made it a whole lot better.
I think he liked working with kids, and I think he was a great role model for them. You know, he was somebody from the community that stayed in the community, that worked in the community, that did stuff to benefit the community.
Well, today's cleanup to honor him starts at 10 a.m. Participants are asked to gather at the Lakes Environmental Association in Bridgeton. Be sure to bring tools, gloves, garbage bags, and appropriate attire for the cleanup.
In Commitment 2016, Maine Republicans will be in Bangor today to decide who will be representing the state at the Republican convention in Cleveland.
And this is expected to be a convention unlike any other. WMTW News 8's Morgan Sturdivant is live in the studio this morning. So Morgan, there's going to be a lot of people involved, but some of the candidates aren't really happy with the process.
That's right, Megan and Christina. A record number of Maine Republicans are going to be turning out for the national delegate positions to try to get those positions. Nearly 200 people competing for 20 delegate positions and 20 alternate slots. Now, the party will choose county committee leaders during the two-day convention in Bangor. They'll also hear from former presidential candidates Ben Carson and Carly Fiorina. On Saturday, they'll choose the 23 delegates to represent Maine at the national convention that's happening in July in Cleveland. Now, Maine's convention comes as the RNC tells candidates the rules for delegates are not going to change. GOP frontrunner Donald Trump has repeatedly bashed the current system, saying it's rigged. Right now, candidates need 1,237 delegates to win the nomination. Now, if no one reaches that number, delegates begin a series of votes to determine the nominee. The rule change would have made it more difficult for the GOP to nominate someone other than the three current candidates.
We're basically in the seventh inning of the ball game, and I don't think it's right that you would change the rules of the game in the middle of the game.
The party can make changes to the delegate process this summer after the convention. Live in the studio this morning, Morgan Sturdivant, WMTW News 8.
And that brings us to today's question of the day. Do you think the RNC should change the rules for delegates? Join the conversation on our Facebook page or reply on Twitter. Remember to use the hashtag WMTWQOD. And stay with WMTW Channel 8 through the Maine GOP convention. Download the News 8 app and make sure that the push notifications that they're turned on to receive the latest information as soon as it comes into our newsroom. And follow political reporter Paul Merrill on Twitter for updates from the convention.
Governor LePage turning down a piece of legislation aimed at making the transfer of medical materials easier for Maine's island residents. The bill would have required the installation of lockboxes on state ferries that would have been used for the transportation of blood work and other medical samples. Well, supporters say it would allow island residents to send those samples without having to take the time-consuming ferry ride. In his veto, LePage called the bill unnecessary, saying the administration is working to create a similar policy.
One step closer to hitting the seas for real. The Navy announcing yesterday that the Zumwalt has returned to Bath Iron Works after 2 days of at-sea acceptance trials. The goal of this latest set of trials was to conduct final evaluations before officially delivering the destroyer to the Navy. The ship is scheduled to be commissioned in October. Still ahead on Maine's total weather and news this morning, and just like that, the world lost a lot of magic. Celebrities and officials all over paying tribute to the late music icon Prince.
The NBA giving the state of North Carolina an ultimatum when it comes to its bathroom bill. The latest statement from the commissioner and what this could mean for the All-Star game.
And good morning from the Scarborough Marsh. I'm going to get out of your way and show you an absolutely gorgeous shot to wake you up this morning as you're taking that sip of coffee this morning. Beautiful. It is Earth Day 2016, and we got your forecast, and we'll let you know what you can do to help out clean up the area. That's next on Maine's Total Weather and News.
Here are meteorologists Mallory Brook and Ted McInerney, giving you Maine's total weather and your exclusive 8-day forecast.
Temperatures this morning are staying mostly into the 40s across the region. A few isolated showers out there, but not too much. We find meteorologist Ted McInerney live in Scarborough. It is Earth Day, and there are a lot of activities to take part in.
Absolutely, Mallory. If you come on down right here to the Scarborough Marsh Autobahn Center, you can show up at 9. Everybody can, and take part in a cleanup tomorrow morning. But I want to show you this absolutely spectacular view, breathtaking. I know we see a lot of great sunrises, but just the colors coming over the Scarborough Marsh this morning on a mild morning. We're at 48 degrees, a nice good start to the day. The wind is calm. The clouds are taking over. The clouds have pushed over, but just enough to get that sunrise to light up the sky here before the showers get into the area. So we are tracking those rain showers, and we're also talking about Earth Day and things you could do to help out again tomorrow at 9 right here the Scarborough Marsh. We'll be talking to the folks here a little bit more about this marsh and showing you these amazing pictures throughout the show. But if you're doing the FESA anything over the weekend, it's looking better, Mallory, right?
Most definitely, Ted. Of course, we have the shower activity coming in. The clouds putting on a great show for the sunrise this morning. Sometimes it's better to have the clouds in there to get some beautiful photo ops. And we are looking at the warmth staying here. I know it's still getting a little bit chilly over towards Midcoast and Bangor into the 30s, but the rest of us 40s, 50s, even 60s right now in Boston. So the warmth is still here. We're not kicking that out. We're going to keep that for today despite the chance of rain. Now we do have that light rain shower activity trying to make its way over the White Mountains. We have one little sliver that basically got into western Maine and a few of the high terrain areas, but there's still plenty behind, of course, with some cooler air as well. A closer look to home shows the cloud cover overtaking most of the region. Very light shower activity throughout western Maine. Not going to get a lot of this, and it is starting to break apart. You'll notice that we have that little dry spot right through New Hampshire. The majority of this rainfall is going to come during the second half of the day, and we'll see that in our hour-by-hour forecast in a moment. Current temperatures showing the warmth really settled into York County, 58 in Portsmouth. It is 61 right now in Sanford, a little bit of a warm bubble there. We have 45 in Cornish, 48 in Bridgeton, higher terrain areas staying around 38 for Pittsburgh, 45 right now in Rumford, and Midcoast also a little bit cooler, sticking at 39 in Rockland and 40 in Damariscotta. We do have the cloud cover expected to stay with us through most of the day. You may squeeze out a pocket of sun early this morning or maybe by mid-afternoon, but the majority of us looking at the clouds. You can see those few pockets trying to come out. Now, once we do start to see our cold front approach, we'll bring about those showers. There could even be a rumble of thunder in here, not expecting anything extraordinary, but we do have the possibility there. Most of the shower and or storm activity will come in from about 4 to 8 o'clock this evening and maybe hang on a little bit later in Midcoast. Most of this is gone by Saturday morning. It will clear out the cloud cover by midday and will be completely clear as we go into Saturday night and Sunday. On the water today, fairly calm conditions. Southerly winds about 5 to 10 knots. No major visibility issues, and highs today once again sticking with the 60s, maybe a few 70s inland. Showers will mostly come in the afternoon, and by the evening we'll have an isolated shower here or there with the cloud cover lingering into Saturday morning and then becoming mostly sunny by midday. We'll keep the sunshine for Sunday, another dry weekend for us. It's the third one in a row, and we'll bring back the shower activity Monday and Tuesday.
So if you're heading out this morning, that may not need the rain jacket as you're on your morning commute, but probably later in the day.
We have a few little sprinkles just into western Maine. I know Freiburg's been reporting some light drizzle activity, but for the most part, we won't need it till the second half.
Everyone's probably still riding high from yesterday, so
I know.
you know,
It was a nice day.
That was
fantastic.
amazing. It was so good.
There's more of those to come, I'm sure.
Just have to dream of it.
Mallory, thank you.
Yeah.
Sad news this morning, remembering the music icon Prince. All the remembrances continue to pour in. The superstar touched so many people, including our nation's leaders. WMTW News 8's Nicole Killian has more from Washington.
Megan, President Obama said he and the First Lady joined millions of fans around the world mourning Prince's sudden death. In a statement, the president called Prince a virtuoso instrumentalist, a brilliant band leader, and an electrifying performer. Meanwhile, here in Washington, several lawmakers also paid tribute, including the delegation from Minnesota, where Prince had a compound. Senator Al Franken said Prince inspired and will continue to inspire many people, while Senator Amy Klobuchar relayed stories about the superstar on the Senate floor.
Prince said, "The future is in your hands now, and the world really is yours." Well, that world is a whole lot cooler because Prince was in it. And it's a whole lot sadder today now that he's gone.
Meanwhile, the Smithsonian's National Portrait Gallery is also honoring Prince. It will display a photograph of him in their memorial section this morning. In Washington, Nicole Killian, WMTW News 8.
It's 5:45 this morning, and happening right now, the NBA commissioner giving lawmakers in North Carolina an ultimatum. Change the law or have the 2017 NBA All-Star Game pulled from the state. Commissioner Adam Silver saying it's crystal clear the law needs to change. A recent law requires transgender people to use the bathroom associated with the sex on their birth certificate. Silver says he's spoken with political and business leaders, and they've assured him a change is possible. Silver hasn't set a deadline for when those changes must come before deciding to pull the game.
Sears will be closing several stores, including dozens of Kmart locations. ABC's Diane Macedo and Ryan Smith have all the details.
Good morning. Topping America's Money, an American retail icon is making a drastic cost-cutting move.
Sears says it will close 78 of its Kmart and Sears stores across 27 states, in addition to 50 other store closings.
Sears has dealt with falling sales and a disappointing holiday season.
And in the wake of the VW emissions scandal, there might be issues with Mercedes diesel emissions.
U.S. owners recently filed a lawsuit claiming some cars are programmed to emit illegal levels of emissions. The U.S. has asked Mercedes' parent company Daimler to look into it.
And Prince's songs are now soaring on iTunes, and we may not have heard the last of his music.
Experts say Prince recorded hundreds of songs that he never released. The tracks are believed to be in his vault at Paisley Park, the compound that doubled as his home and studio.
All right, well, that's America's Money.
Have a great day, everyone.
Take a look at this local weather picture sent in to us out of the Biddeford pool area yesterday. The signs of spring coming up with a few daffodils right along the water. Thanks so much for sending that in to us. And of course, as you snap some photos, especially over this weekend, be sure to send them to us so we can feature them on a future newscast. We'll be right back. This morning, we are waking up to temperatures that are quite mild and no rain in Scarborough yet. That's where we find meteorologist Ted McInerney live with the details of some Earth Day activities. Ted.
Yeah, happy Earth Day, Mallory. It's a beautiful start to the day, a mild start, as you said, and something about a good sunrise that just gets you in a great mood for the day ahead. I'm here with Linda Woodard. She is with the Maine Scarborough Marsh Autobahn, and we've been talking all about Earth Day and the beauty behind us, but tell us what we can do tomorrow as your event for Earth Day.
Great. We're going to meet here at the center tomorrow at 9 o'clock, and then we're going to disperse all around the marsh and clean it up.
And it needs the cleaning. And
it does. Unfortunately, it does.
We're talking in general. You deal with nature, and you're out with all the birds and all the beautiful things of the marsh. How important is Earth Day?
I think it's good just to have a special day for people to focus on and to really think about, we really need to protect the earth. So people should just get out and enjoy the day, but also, bring a bag with you wherever you go and pick things up and take care of it.
Absolutely. And we were talking in detail about the marsh. There's so many interesting things here. You can get out your kayak and canoe, but the wildlife here.
It really is amazing. Every day is different. The migration has started already. I just heard a new bird I hadn't heard before. So it's really wonderful. But we don't just have birds. Everyone thinks of birds because they're most visible. But we have some mammals too. We have seals that come up in here. I've seen river otter and muskrats and fox and anything you can imagine.
You told me something interesting that for boaters and kayakers that are looking to see the birds, don't come at
high tide. Everyone says, when's high tide? But that's not the best time to come. Come at mid tide because you see all the bank and you have some shorebirds. But at high tide, you just get blown around and you don't see as much.
Interesting fact there. So that will plan you out for the summer because it's an absolutely great place to be and also a great place to see that sunrise, as you can tell. So tomorrow at 9 o'clock, if you got no plans, come on down to the Scarborough Marsh and help clean up. It is Earth Day and just spectacular views, Mallory.
It looked amazing this morning, Ted. Thanks so much. And of course, those temperatures are allowing us to enjoy that nice warmth that we can expect through today, despite a little bit of shower activity this morning. Our weather spotters coming in with temperatures around 47 in Union and 45 in Brunswick. And we are going to continue to see those temperatures move up to the 50s by 8 o'clock. If you want to get involved in some of those Earth Day activities, by 11, it'll be in the 60s. Despite the cloud cover, we're still going to warm up. We will start to see some more rain shower activity move in during the afternoon. That's when I'd bring in the umbrella or light rain jacket.
Valerie, thank you. Let the Total Weather team keep you informed, would you? Come on. Let them keep you informed through the weekend. We're always tracking the weather, even when we're not on the air. Be sure to follow Mallory, Ted, Roger, and Sarah on Twitter and Facebook for updates anytime, no matter where you are. Right now, we're going to go over to Ken and Mike, our media partners at WGAN. Happy Friday to you both.
Hey, thank Buddha, it's Friday.
Yeah.
And guys, this morning we're talking about as the world's remembering music and entertainment icon. Prince passed away yesterday at the age of 57.
Yeah, we've talked about it. Certainly, I mean no disrespect to Prince or anybody like who likes Prince, but I don't put Prince in that category. And of course, with social media now, there's always going to be a complete overreaction to things. Ken, I think there's great Hall of Fame, and then there's the next tier, and I think that's where Prince goes.
Look, I recognize Prince was creative and fascinating and an interesting personality. I'm not a Prince fan. I don't own any of the Prince's music. I just, I know a couple of his songs. The wall-to-wall coverage of this was pretty interesting. I mean, when Michael Jackson died, of course, there was a lot of coverage as well. But, I don't put him in that category. He's a great guitar player. I don't recognize a lot of his music. I'm an old
You're
fuddy
very
man,
old, Ken.
That's true.
I guess the thing with me is when Prince hit the scene in the early 80s, I was, a young rock DJ on the radio. And, of course, I played all this stuff. And, by the way, for those of you interested, they were on 45s back then. So I played his music, and it became, I was 24, 25 years old. It was a formative time for me. And so the music resonated with me, and I thought he was great in his own way. I just don't put him up there with, we've lost David Bowie this year. We've lost some others. I don't put him up there in that category. I think he's the next tier. He was a great songwriter, very gifted musician. In fact, Clapton was once asked what it was like to be the greatest guitar player in the world, and he said, I don't know. Why don't you ask Prince?
Which is high praise.
That's pretty high praise.
So, when we lose an icon like that, we talk about it, and we'll talk about it this morning. But then again, China committed suicide, a famous World Wrestling.
Ken's stuck on China.
It's like when Farrah Fawcett died the same day
Farrah
Michael
Fawcett
Jackson
died the same day Michael Jackson died. We forget that.
Yeah, so with that, have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday morning.
All right, thanks to you both.
Thank you, guys. This is a live look outside towards Scarborough this morning. Earth Day today, and I'll tell you, Mother Nature is just showing off. Look at that display this morning.
Yep, she is not disappointing us on this Friday. We're back in 2 minutes.